Go.
Okay. First of all, well, this kind of starts a little bit in because I didn't realize I had my pen. I thought I didn't have it, so I kind of went back and took some notes about the part later. But first of all, Fred had no tea. You know, he usually has like a Starbucks cup, whatever, of tea. He says, and
I don't remember seeing that.
well, you probably don't notice it. But
Yeah, no, I don't.
Sham Schwartz, the V president, as his union vest says, and Michael Oliver, who's of course one of the executive board officers for light rail, spoke. They talked about accident reviews and about deciding if it's a preventable or non-preventable accident. Mm-hmm. And they mentioned, not them, but Fred or whoever mentioned that they're going to have a National Safety Council experts, join them at least electronically by Skype or whatever, and really go through at least virtually the review process.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of discussion by Miss Sturdy, who also spoke.
Who?
About Miss Sturdy, who's the mother of one of the
the
boy
one
who died.
The one that was right. Okay.
In Gresham a while back. And anyways, they also mentioned that they're looking at hedging again because they like to have a maximum. They like to have a. Well, he did mention that it
They did a good job on that last time.
He did mention that it only partly worked. That one of them, that I guess it was one half. He said didn't work or whatever. But one thing he mentioned that they like to have a maximum budgeted price. They like to know what they can set their budget to.
Well, that's probably a good idea. Better take the high price. But then didn't they lose money on that? If they hedged high, they still got to pay that high price.
I guess one of two they lost. I forgot what he said. But
one of two. Well, we'll listen to that.
He did mention about it didn't go completely right. Also, getting back, I guess this was in the Michael Oliver mentioned that how the bus and light rail are really different, and how they don't have bus. I guess it was how they don't have bus people and other outside people on the accident review things, because it's.
They don't have bus people on that anymore?
Well, because it's on the light rail, at least one, because the light rail is so different,
Yeah. They have federal people on that, don't they?
Well, they're bringing in.
Yeah, the feds are trying to take over all that stuff.
Well, no, this is because of the incident.
Well, I know, but I've been reading the international news, the national news, and the feds are trying to take over a lot of these monitoring programs.
I don't know. It just sounded like that there was a complaint by Miss Sturdy.
Yeah.
That they did some research and she was arguing that like a fourth of someone did a study, found a fourth of the accidents that were termed NPA, I believe, were arguably preventable. Like a fourth of them were wrong.
I see. Huh.
And also
that's interesting.
On the Treasury return, they're getting 0.11%.
Well, that's what everybody's getting. You'd think they'd get more because they get millions in there.
Yeah, but they have different different investments, and this was the.
Yeah, it's hard to believe they have investments and they're running in and they're cutting budgets, but they have investments.
Some of them they're short-term investments.
Yeah, that's interesting though that they're cutting service, but they have investments. I just find that quantity,
No, because you don't need the money now. Because some of them.
Yeah, we need the money now. Okay.
Well, not till
we need
payroll.
$27 million now.
Not till payroll.
Well, whatever, but.
Because at least some of the investments, they can take out like a day before they're needed. Like they have to pay bondholders. I think it was mentioned.
That's ridiculous anyway to even have it in that form. I mean, they get the money, they give it to what they're supposed to be paying for and get the damn job done.
Well, they don't, well, no, because the bondholders, their bond payment or whatever might be way after, that they have.
Yeah, I don't understand how it works, but.
And the other thing is you can't just have no money. You have to have.
Well, they gotta have cash reserve, of course.
Exactly. But see, they can invest it instead of just leaving it under the cushions,
Yeah, I suppose so.
It's not all fixed. At least some of the things they can get out with 1 day notice. So, so they can come up right before they need it and just say, hey, we need money, and they can get it.
Okay.
And it said women outnumber men for the first time on payroll. This was a national thing, in general. And it's lowest sales of new homes ever. I believe this was last month. Oh, but also about the women, she's saying that it was probably just because the construction industry is down and other man-dominated things. Revenue was -6% for fiscal year budget. Expenses are down 2%. So
what's now?
Revenue is down 6% for the fiscal year, I believe it is, and expenses are down 2%. Also, the ridership decline is flattening. Like, I guess it's
It reached the transit dependent people.
Well, I don't know about that, but it just said that.
Well,
that
there is a bunch of people that have no choice.
That's definitely there's definitely
and there are people that do have choice. So
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But they're saying I think it was at lower declines than. But also that they're using their contingency, for some of the budgets shortfall, so they're going to have a lower, start lower in fiscal year 11 budget, which starts in July 1st, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
The fuel wash facility, I mentioned about that. Merlot said it's in 10 years in the making that they've been wanting to do it, but that when they've had a budget crunches, it's been postponed.
Like now?
Well, now they got
stimulus.
So
right.
yeah, this is
right.
It's an example
of how great the feds are. They get you everything you don't need, and what people need they don't get. But anyway, that's not Trimet's problem.
That's needed. He mentioned
they can use goddamn the car. What's the name of that place? That car wash down there.
You know how many buses they have to?
They just drive it right through there. Okay, well, anyways, neither here nor there.
You know how expensive that would be. If they have to pay for every.
Well, it's not union labor though. You can do it for free market labor, which means minimum wage. Anyway, on.
They might veto that.
Yeah,
but you said this.
I understand. It comes from stimulus, but that's a whole nother subject.
He said today that he was worried if there was a windstorm, it would fall down.
Yeah.
And it's so yeah.
Well, if it fell down, the buses would still run. It's dirty, so it looked kind of bad. But
what about the?
They look bad anyway.
What about the fuel?
What about the fuel?
I think that's part of it. I know that's part of this project. I don't know if that was going to fall down.
The fuel.
It's a fuel and wash facility.
Oh, well, they're getting the gas somewhere. Anyway, it's not important. Go ahead, keep going. What else?
But he said it's been 10 years, and it's gotten put off. And then the other part of it is the lift facility. They're going to have a lift facility there because they need one because they're now in the Clean Water Services and the Beaverton, Clean Water Services. They want to take over their space, so they're going to lift's going to get kicked out of there. So they need space there anyway. So.
I see.
It said Congress may give money. I believe it was that there's a Senate bill has money for transit in it. But the House jobs bill, this is the U.S. Congress, doesn't, or vice versa. So, they don't know how it's going to play out,
Yeah, well, transit's on the very low priority list, obviously.
And he talked about how the stimulus money, that it was paying for preventative maintenance, but that's how they're paying their mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
And that meant they don't have to pay use their general fund money to pay their mechanics.
Yeah.
So that's like a directly offset.
Well, you kind of have to have the mechanics, that's for sure.
But that's a direct offset of of money.
Well, why don't they just give the whole executive staff like a 1-year furlough?
Well, who's going to make the executive decision?
I don't think we need them. Anyway, go ahead. We don't need dissolve the board of directors and let the frontline troops take over. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't
That's not going to work. I know.
I don't. Yeah. Tualatin, the other thing about Tualatin, urban renewal and resolution, and because if urban renewal freezes property taxes, and that freezes the money that they can use that they can tax, so they of course don't use it that much.
Mm-hmm.
But they said one thing that they talked about them and that